Okay. So how do you celebrate Mother's Day?
Well, I always go and buy flowers from a nearby store for my mom, but she never really wants it. She would always tell me how there's no point in celebrating Mother's Day here. It's just a waste of money. But I still buy her either chocolate or flowers every Mother's Day.
So do you know how Mother's Day is celebrated in India? If so, how is it different from your celebration?
Well, I'm not really sure about how it's celebrated in India, but based on what I know, uh, people around where I live in the rural area, they don't really celebrate any holiday at all. I mean, the only time they use flowers or anything is if you're celebrating a life or have a funeral, and they don't really pay attention to things like Mother's Day. I mean, like my mom always tells me, like, if I ever buy something useless, like if I don't need it, they would always tell me the story about how they only buy things they need. Like kids in India would wear shoes until they're tattered and worn out. And so they always tell me that there's no point in celebrating Mother's Day.
Okay. um, so do you have any special tradition in your celebration? Just a rose and, like
Yeah,
flower and,
yeah, just like the roses and box of chocolate.
and that's it? You don't do
Yeah.
anything for your mom or anything like that? No?
Actually, a couple years ago, I started on Mother's Day. It's the only time I actually wash the dishes. Oh,
Okay. So do you think Mother's Day is significant to your family in any specific way?
well, it's the only time I always hear that story, like either for Mother's Day or Father's Day. It's the only time I hear that story about how you only you only should buy things when you need it. That's the only time I hear it. Other than that, Mother's Day is not really important for my family.
Oh,
They don't really try to celebrate it.
okay. So do you think celebrating Mother's Day for immigrants is any way different?
You mean like immigrants? Like what type of immigrants? I mean,
What type?
Mexicans? All immigrants?
No, like for Indians especially.
Oh, alright. Different from what? American?
Yeah, I guess.
Uh, I mean, Mother's Day is pretty much universal. It's all, I would assume it's all the same thing. There should be no differences in celebrating what your mother has done for you. That's, I mean,
Okay. I think